a dynasty. You hold it, and then you hand it off to the next person. So right now, here it is. Conan, it's yours. See you in 5 years,
has
buddy.
finally come up with an exciting new idea. They want me to follow Jay Leno.
I mean, you gotta love Jay. Jay is like a whack-a-mole, you know? Oh, boy. You think you've canceled him, and he pops up on another time period. Bang, 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 bang.
And I just want to say to the kids out there watching, you can do anything you want in life. Yeah, unless Jay Leno wants to do it too.
Here's the rundown. You had Conan. First of all, you had Jay at 10 on his variety show, and then you had Conan at 11:30 on the Tonight Show. After that, you had Jimmy Fallon. Following Jimmy Fallon was Carson Daly. Carson Daly has a show on NBC, but nobody can find the paperwork.
Team Conan! You're known for pranks. What's the best prank you ever pulled?
I think the best prank I ever pulled was I told a guy that 5 years from now, I'm going to give you my show. And then when the 5 years came, I gave it to him, and then I took it back almost instantly.
Wow.
Now, people are saying, I don't know if you folks know what's going on at NBC, but people are now saying, I don't know if this is true, that tonight is Conan O'Brien's final night.
The Tonight Show host says goodbye.
I guess it's all over the internet. People are talking about the terms of my settlement and what's it all about. And the terms of my settlement, I'll be honest with you, say that I can't host another show for 7 months. Now, people have been asking me, what's going to happen to our studio after we're gone? They just built this thing.
Yeah, I know.
And people are saying, what's going to happen to it? There are actually a few possible uses for our studio being kicked around. Magician David Blaine will attempt the impossible by trying to remain in the studio for longer than 7 months. Leave the studio cold and empty and rename it World's Largest Metaphor for NBC Programming. This is the guy who coined the phrase on our second show, Coco. This guy did it. This is the guy who did it. There's been a lot of speculation in the press about what I legally can and can't say. And this is true. Tonight, I'm allowed to say anything I want. And what I want to say is this. Between my time at Saturday Night Live, the late night show, and my brief run here on The Tonight Show, I've worked with NBC for over 20 years. This company has been my home for most of my adult life. I am enormously proud of the work we've done together, and I want to thank NBC for making it all possible. I'll be honest with you, walking away from The Tonight Show is the hardest thing I have ever had to do. I do not regret 1 second of anything that we've done here. Finally, I have something to say to our fans. Here's what all of you have done. You made a sad situation joyous and inspirational. So to all the people watching, I can never, ever thank you enough for the kindness to me. I'll think about it for the rest of my life.
Hi, everyone. I'm standing here in front of Studio 6B, which has been our home for the past 10 months. But right across the hall was Studio 6A. This is the home of Late Night with Conan O'Brien for 16 years. We're gonna miss you, Conan. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday.
Hey, what the heck are you guys doing in my studio?
Cheesy, you guys, it's Dr. Oz, run!
People are beating up on Jay Leno, and people say, why would you do that? And well, I'll tell you, it's fun. It's just more fun to tell jokes about Jay. It's just, I just can't help it. You know what I mean?
Can't help yourself.
The late night wars are finally over, thank God. Today, yeah, I'm kind of amazed I'm still here too. But today, Jay Leno said he's going to go on the Oprah Winfrey show and tell his side of the story. Now, I never thought I'd say this, but watch your back, Oprah.
Jay, Big Jaw Leno.
Because Letterman called you, I think the big-jawed Leno should just walk away.
Jay Leno today sat down for a very serious talk with Oprah. Oprah was pretty forthright with Jay. And then Oprah asked Jay about me.
Even for Jimmy Kimmel, when Jimmy Kimmel was on?
Again, I had Jimmy Kimmel on my show, and yeah, I got sucker punched.
Did you know he was going that far?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Yeah, the jokes about the cars, and you only have cars.
That's okay, I got sucker punched. But you know, when you get sucker punched, you just get right back up again.
Now, I don't know that I would characterize going on a comedy show and making jokes qualifies as a sucker punch, right? I mean, you want to know what the real story is, what really happened? A couple weeks ago, I did a show where I dressed up like Jay Leno and impersonated him. We had a lot of fun at their expense. We really did. So the next morning, Jay calls me. I was in a meeting. They said Jay Leno was on the phone, and I said, oh, great, this will be comfortable. He got on the phone and said, oh, I thought it was funny. Now, I'm almost positive that was a lie, but I take his word for it because why not? So then about an hour later, the Jay Leno show calls, and they asked me to do the 10 at 10. So I say yes, assuming that we're going to talk about what's going on in late night. So I get on the phone with the producer, and he goes through about 30 questions. Almost none of them have anything to do with what's going on in late night. I really think we have to talk about what's going on with Jay and Conan, because that's what people want to hear about. He says, yeah, I know, and we'll talk about it, but there's been a lot of talk about this stuff, and we don't want to beat it to death. But what he did not understand is, I did want to beat it to death, and so I did. If I made any mistake, it was thinking Jay would have anything to say other than what was written on the cue cards during the interview. I figured I'd start in, he'd get into it, we'd mix it up. You know, at one time, he was a comedian. And then he goes on Oprah and rats me out to Oprah. That's a sucker punch right there. Oprah and I had a wonderful relationship, and now it's ruined because of Jay. And by the way, watch out, Oprah. Don't think he won't take your show next.
This is the worst Super Bowl party ever.
Now, Dave, be nice.
Well, he's just saying that because I'm here.
Oh, he's just saying that because I'm here.
The Super Bowl, your commercial, your promotional, whatever it was that you did for 15 seconds, was the best part of the whole thing.
Well, yeah.
It was fabulous.
Thank you.
And you know, it was such a surprise. It was such a, there was Oprah, there was Jay. You know, Oprah's been here, what, twice? Jay has never been in the building. And Regis was home wondering, you know, Regis has been here more than anybody else. In the early days when you were dying. Excuse me, but shouldn't Regis have been a part of that commercial? Shouldn't Regis, should he be sitting on Oprah's lap? Honest to God, where was Regis? I want an answer. Don't you ever think of Regis for these things?
Do you like football, Joy?
Tonight marked the final episode of the Jay Leno Show, starting tomorrow. It's right, he will be replaced by reruns of Suddenly Susan on NBC, and then the Olympics begin. I hope the kid lands on his feet, I really do.
This is our last Jay Leno show, Kev. Now, the show was supposed to last 2 years, but my sentence was reduced to 5 months for good behavior, We're on the air 5 months, Kev.
5 months,
man. God, it seemed like just yesterday I was telling NBC, this is not going to work. But no. I should have known this show wasn't going to last long. I remember the first day I pulled in my new parking space, just something wasn't right. Take a look.
I have to admit something to you.
Yes?
I felt like it was fitting that I came out on the last show to reveal that this whole Tonight Show, earlier show thing was a punk.
Oh, really? Wow! Wow, very...